we've got another mini drone from DJI. And this video is for those of you who are wondering which mini drone to buy, the Mini 3 or the Mini 3 Pro. If you've already got the Mini 2, which one of these should you upgrade to, or should you stick with the Mini 2? Now, I'm used to using the Mavic 3, which is a big drone, and that takes up loads of space in my bag. So I've really enjoyed using these mini drones. They're absolutely amazing, really quick to get set up and packed down and put in your bag, and it just takes up barely any space. And I love how discreet they are. Listen to that, I barely hear it. Whereas the Mini 2 is a little bit louder. Here we go. Wow. Because the last thing you want is to draw attention to yourself while you're flying a drone. So let's have a look at the image. They all have equivalent to a 24mm lens, but the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro are a little bit better in low light situations because of the f1.7 aperture, whereas the Mini 2 has a f2.8, I believe. The image from the Mini 2 is okay. It's not great. Colors are a little bit dull. If you look in comparison to the Mini 3s, it's really crunchy. There's a little bit of, I can't describe it, it's a little bit fuzzy. The Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro are just a massive step up. I'd be more than happy to use this on a professional shoot in terms of like a wedding or a corporate style thing. Really nice image. Colors are great to work with, amazing to color grade, really simple, and it looks nice and clean. You can just use the image as it is without doing any color grading, but I find that tweaking it a little bit gives it that extra boost and it makes it look even better than it already is. If you go for the Mini 3 Pro, it's the same story there. It looks fantastic in the normal modes, but it's also got the D-Cine-like, which is kind of like a log profile. So if you are into color grading, then that's definitely the setting that I would use. And all these clips are graded using my LUTs, which you can get in the description below. Just follow the link. And then you don't have to worry about color grading yourself. You just put those LUTs on, a couple of tweaks, and then you're sorted. I really like just the standard profile in these drones. Look really good. Minimal effort, especially if you're doing YouTube videos, for example, where you don't need it to look amazing. You just want quick and fast turnovers. These are a lot better than the Mini 2. And the Mini 3 Pro also has a few more higher frame rates, so you can get a little bit better slow-mo. So if it is about the image, definitely upgrade from the 2 to one of these. Now, I've been flying the Mini 3 in auto mode, the auto exposure mode, and it's just fantastic. I don't have to worry about anything, and this is perfect for people who are either beginners or just don't like to do a lot of color grading and they just want to get an image as quick as possible. And then I can just focus on capturing the shot that I need instead of thinking about the setting. But it also adjusts quite smoothly. So for example, if you're in a dark situation, like pointing down at the ground, for example, the exposure's set for that. But then if you quickly point up to the sky, it adjusts really quickly but smoothly at the same time. So it's not a jarring, distracting change. It's nice and smooth. Then the flight experience itself is much better with the Mini 3 drones. I thought it was down to the RC remote, but actually it's the drone itself. The Mini 2 is a lot slower, really slow. It's a little bit more cumbersome, even though the drone is smaller itself. It's just not as nimble. It doesn't turn as fast. It's just a bit sluggish. They are a little bit bigger than the Mini 2, but that doesn't bother me because they're still nice and compact. The propellers are a little bit bigger, but again, it makes it quieter, faster, and more nimble to fly. So it's a pleasure to use these. Now, you might have noticed I'm using this DJI microphone. Love it. I think the sound is really clear, and I'm just using this clip on one of the buttonholes there, so I can attach it to myself. But if I didn't use that, there's a magnet. So if I wanted to, if I didn't have this jacket on, for example, I could just clip it to the inside of my shirt here. There we go. And it's nice and central. Well, it's not at the minute, but I could have it central. I'm really impressed with the sound of these, actually. I've used my preset pack on these, so you just drag and drop them on, and it goes from sounding like this to sounding like this. Nice and clear and professional audio. Got the little dead cat on there so that you don't get any of that wind noise. Love the box. Charge it through there. It's really good because I can actually see the audio levels on the little screen on the front of the transmitter. Now that's awesome because then I don't have to have the audio display on my camera screen. I can free up a little bit of room there and just look at it on that transmitter. Now I'll usually say always go for the Fly More combo because you get extra batteries, a little bag. Here is the bag. It's a good bag. I like a bag. I mean, I don't use them that much for the drone because I'll put them in my camera bag along with the rest of my stuff. But if you're just taking the drone out on your own, this is ideal because you can fit the drone in there. I don't know why I'm telling you, because it's obvious. Compartments for stuff. comes with a bag. Anyway, back to the Pro Combo. If you go for the Mini 3 Pro Combo, 3 batteries with it, this little charging dock thing, which I really like. I always like having extra batteries. Having said this, the battery on the Mini 3 is a little bit better than the Mini 3 Pro, probably because it's not using sensors, so you get a little bit of extra time there. And I think 38 minutes is plenty of flight time, but it's great to have those extras just in case you need it. But the biggest difference is the remote, the DJI RC. Now this makes a massive difference in comparison to the normal remote. For starters, you don't have to have the phone plugged in above. I really don't like using my phone for camera accessories. It's not great. I'm worrying about battery life and things like that, connections. This is really, really difficult to see with it being on your phone. Much better having the proper controller with the monitor display on there. It's a lot brighter, a lot easier to see, a lot clearer, and a lot bigger than my phone. The controls themselves are much more accurate and responsive on the DJI RC in comparison to the normal remote. You just have a lot more control, stability, and accuracy over the joysticks. Highly recommend getting one of these. The tilt of the gimbal on this remote is really difficult to use. It's a little bit quick. So it's very jerky on the normal remote, whereas this is a little bit more controlled. So you can be a lot smoother with the DJI RC. Love this thing. And then on the back we've got the C1 and C2. So with just a tap of that button there, without moving my hand anywhere or trying to press through the menu settings, I can just go from horizontal mode to vertical mode, which is really handy if you're doing a lot of Instagram stuff, social media content, or any sort of vertical filming. A big advantage that the Mini 3 Pro has over the Mini 3 is that it has tracking. For somebody like me who goes out and films on my own a lot, that tracking feature is a must. I use it all the time when I'm droning. It just makes things a lot easier. But you can still get great shots with this without the tracking. You just have to do a little bit of extra work and make sure you're focusing, whereas I can literally track on this, put the remote down, and it's gonna do its thing. And if you've got the Mini 2 and you're on the fence about upgrading to one of the 3s, definitely go for it. I 100% recommend it. The image is just a massive step up. I can't tell you how impressed I am with it for such an affordable small drone. Then between the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro, it really all depends either on your budget or the features. But you can actually get a lot more for your money if you go for the Mini 3, because they do a few different versions, different combinations, so you could either have it with or without the RC remote, and then the Fly More combo. So it's definitely worth considering all the different options and seeing what you can get for your money. So perfect for a beginner or somebody who is wanting a second drone, maybe to go alongside the Mavic 3 for example, or doesn't shoot a lot of drone stuff, who wants something to just throw in the bag next to the camera and it's not going to take up too much space, and it's the perfect price point. Let me know which one is your favourite in the comments below. Which one is standing out to you the most, or you're going to stick with the 2. Plenty of stuff coming on the channel, loads of exciting stuff. If you can't tell, you might not be able to tell, but I'm actually in Tokyo right now. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.